tough was it if you think back about, I guess, your own performance? You had rotating quarterbacks, you had different play callers at times, you had receivers. You're all trying to get on the same page.
Yeah.
I mean, for people that maybe don't know, how hard was it this year? You came in the summer to try to figure everything out and with all that going on.
Yeah, like you said, there's a lot of different challenges for anybody throughout the year. And then obviously, like you said, coming in the middle of the year in the summer, not having spring ball, and then also not really having a full fall camp either because, you're splitting reps. And then, through the first few games of the season as well. So I think, towards the second half of the year, you got to get a glimpse of what, we could be. And it still wasn't perfect. We can still be a lot better than what we were. And I think that's what we're going to be next year. And, like you said, different pieces at receiver as well, guys that got here at the same time I did. Not a ton of experience in that area. And, I think we're going to clean things up a lot, and it's gonna be a lot better for all of us.
You mentioned the wide receivers. Obviously, looking at what is committed for next season, obviously it's still not a lot of experience, but it seems like there's going to be a lot more talent on this roster going forward. Is that exciting to you to kind of look at what's coming in next year for you, just as that recruiting class?
Yeah, it's definitely exciting. I got to meet those guys yesterday, and they're in practice and talking with them. I feel like their head's in the right spot, and I think they're going to come in ready to work. A couple of them are going to be here in January, and the rest will get here in May. And I talked to those guys, and I think they're ready to work, and I think they're hungry. A lot of times the really talented guys are very hungry to learn and to get rolling. So, like you said, it's not much experience. Those guys at the end of the day, no matter how great somebody is, they're still freshmen. So, they're going to have to learn, and I'm sure they will learn quickly. And it's my job to teach them as much as I can and help them out as much as I can.
Hugh mentioned how excited he was for you to have a second year in the offense. Like you said, you got here late, a full off season.
Yep.
For you, having been in some offenses over the course of your career, how important is that to have a second year to kind of have a full off season to work in it?
Yeah, it's really important. I'm looking forward to what we're going to be doing and really diving into it with Coach and getting these details fine tuned and just me knowing it 100% and to be able to go and teach it to the receivers. Throughout this year, we had some things that were going back and forth and we're undecided on, and so for me that's always been a strength. I feel like for me is being able to coach guys out there as well, and people say try to be another coach on the field, and you only get so many hours as a coach with your players, and so if you're the quarterback and you can coach the receivers on exactly what needs to be done, that helps a lot. And I think that we'll be doing that in January right away, so that's exciting.
With a year under your belt and having the respect of your teammates now, how much do you step up the leadership role that you have on this team?
Yeah, I definitely think that it'll be a little bit different. Obviously, like you said, just spending time with the guys and going through different scenarios with them and different battles on the field. So it definitely changes. Not that I don't say it would step up. I guess it's just different. I'm gonna lead in a different way and a way that I've done before. And it's always a constant effort to try to improve in every area, and that's one of them. And so. Just keeping the climate and getting everybody on the same page and really moving forward in a winning direction.
What is your message to those recruits that you met yesterday?
I'm excited for them to get here. And, I've played with really good receivers before, and I've had success with really good receivers before. 2 years ago I played with Speedy Naylor, who's playing in the NFL. I played with Jaden Reed my whole life, who's a second-round pick and has been lighting it up for the Packers this year. And I played with Keon Coleman, who is going to be a first-round draft pick this year. So I played with good receivers, and they've helped me, and I feel like I've helped them as well in their journey. So, just seeing those guys, seeing how they work. I can tell these guys I know what it looks like. I've played with them. I know what a draft pick receiver and a high-level draft pick receiver looks like. So. That's one, and then also just this will be I think my 39th start, so there's not much I haven't seen in college football yet, and so I think I'm one of the most experienced quarterbacks in the country, and I think we got good football ahead of us still.
I guess to that point, with so much experience under your belt going into next season and not having to worry about a quarterback competition to the same extent, or at least have so much more kind of built around you, does that help you get a better sense of these young receivers, a better sense of what the offense wants to be next season with one thing off your
Yeah, I would say so. That's kind of how I treated them when I got here, to be honest, is that, just to take charge and, act like I am the guy, and that's what I had thought, and that's ended up coming to be. And so I think it helps more for the other guys that there's no questioning. There's not like, oh, is this guy this, or this, and I don't know how much of that there was or not, but going into the offseason, when I say something to a receiver, he knows, hey, this is which I should probably get on the same page with this guy, and so I would assume that that's what they're thinking, and same thing with me, talking to them about how they run routes, what they're seeing out there, and then like I said, breaking down the fine details.
You talked about the NFL caliber receivers that you've thrown to in the past. How much does that elevate your game when you've got guys with a big catch radius or 50-50 balls they come down? What does that open up?
It opens up a lot of shots down the field, and then also just receptions. And when you get completions, no matter where they're at, that helps. You'll hear people say sometimes a 0-yard completion is better than whatever else it might be. Just getting the ball to our guys, it builds momentum. And when you got guys that can make plays downfield, that's huge. You get chunk plays, and the data shows that when you get chunk plays in both the run and pass game, your chances of winning go up. And I feel like I've played with two of the best 50-50 ballers out there, in Jaden Reed and Keon Coleman. So I've been blessed to play with them. And I think these guys coming in are going to have the opportunity to do that, and it's exciting. And just moving forward with those guys, and then the guys that are coming back as well. We'll get a full off season together. And but yeah, it helps a lot, and it helps your confidence to go ahead and launch one down there and know there's a good chance he's coming down with this.
It was around maybe game 6 or 7 for y'all this year where the offense really clicked. I mean, y'all had it pretty good from then on out. What do you think were some of the factors that you talked about, maybe kind of wading through some stuff early in the year? What were some of the factors that led to you guys maybe having a better second half of the season this year?
I think we got a little bit more fine-tuned in the game plan and shrunk things down a little bit. We're able to get on the same page with what we're going to be running instead of having, a wide open playbook, I guess, going into the game. And Coach Freeze has said we're going to shrink things down, and we did that, and that helped get guys to understand what we're going to be running in the game, focus on those things, and the 2 or 3 looks you're going to see to those plays. And I think that helped a lot with the receivers and myself too, and being able to know, hey, this is what we're calling most likely, and it's not 100 or so things.
What are a couple things that you want to work on? Regular season behind you, bowl practice kind of feels like you're sort of starting to already prepare for next year. Is there 1 or 2 specific things that you've had a chance to look back and go, all right, here's my focus from now till spring or even summer or whatever, just for you personally that you want to get better at?
Yeah, for me, it's just, like I said earlier, getting into the playbook, and I don't, we'll see what, that is in January, and really just diving into it and knowing every single detail, like knowing the entire thing, so I can go teach these guys, and that's how I was in the past, in my last place, and I was able to really communicate with those guys a lot. So that would be number 1. And then for me, technique-wise, just getting on, talking to Coach Freeze and Coach Austin about just my feet and what we're looking for in that. I feel like my feet at times this year were just inconsistent, and we hadn't really nailed down what we're doing on certain things. And so really going, okay, on this down the field shot, what are we looking for feet-wise? Maybe getting a little more depth here and there. And then I'll honestly watch some stuff with my dad too. My dad's helped me a lot in my career, and I'm sure he'll have some things to coach me up on as well. And just get wrong with that. Technique though, can always get cleaned up even more. So we focus on that.